Good morning, everyone. I pray your morning is going well. I wanted to share something with you that God really blessed my spirit with, and I pray that it be a blessing to you as well. As I was reading, and God gave me a few scriptures to go over, and which were one of them was James 2:14-22. And as I meditated on that, God brought other scriptures to me to talk about and break them down. And so with James 2:14-22 states, faith without work is dead. What good is it, my brother, if someone says he has faith but does not have works? Can that faith save him? If a brother or a sister is poorly clothed and lacking in daily food, and one of you say to them, "Go in peace, be warm and filled," without giving them the things needed for the body, what good is that? So also faith by itself, if it does not have work, is dead. And so as I continue to meditate on that, God said for me to go to Jeremiah 29:11, which Jeremiah 29 states, "For I know the plans that I have for you, declared the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." And as I begin to meditate on that scripture as well, God was telling me, he said, I have great plans for you, things that's going to prosper you and give you hope and a future. But in order for that to take place, we got to have faith and believe that scripture that he has said to us, but not only believe by faith what he said, but we also have to have work behind it in order for that scripture to be fulfilled. But in the midst of that, it takes requirement of obedience. Obedience is better than sacrifice. And as I continue to go on, God brought to my remembrance of going to Numbers 20:7-13, which it states, Moses and Aaron went for the assembly to enter into the tent of meeting and fell face down, and the glory of the Lord appeared to them. The Lord said to Moses, "Take the staff, and you and your brother Aaron gather the assembly together, speak to the rock before their eyes, and it will pour out its water. You will bring water out of the rock for the community, so they and their livestock can drink." So Moses took the staff, and he went on his way as God had commanded him. But when he got to the rock, the problem was Moses raised his arm and struck the rock twice. Now remember, God had told him to speak to the rock, but instead he did something different. In this season, as we go forth, there is a requirement for us to be obedient and follow the instruction that God has given us in order for Jeremiah 29:11 scripture to be fulfilled. And as I begin to think on these scriptures and think on the things that the scripture was talking about, and as God was pointing to my spirit, God brought back to my remembrance a time when I was going through some issues in my marriage at the time when I was married. I couldn't understand why was it that he was sending me out to minister to those that were married while I was going through my own situation. Now remind you, Jeremiah 29 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declared the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope in the future." If I was not obedient to what it was that God was asking me to do, then these things that was stated in 29:11 would have not been fulfilled. But because I was obedient to fulfill the duties and the calling which God had called me to do, which were to minister to these people, regardless of my own situation, because at the end of the day, many of those that were around me saw what I was going through, but yet what was speaking out of my mouth was something totally different. And as I began to speak what God was telling me to speak with these individuals dealing with their marriage, God began to bring healing not only for them, but he also brought healing through me. Because as I was listening to the things that I was saying to them, God was fulfilling this scripture, which was 29:11. So I'm saying to you is, you might ask yourself, why are you going through the things that you're going through? Why not you? God allowed it to take place for a reason, because he knows that you can fulfill a lot of things in this scripture through you. But in order for that to happen and allow God to work without faith is dead. We have to do the movement. We have to do the process in order for these things to be fulfilled, in order for us to move forward into the next level. So as you continue to go on, thank God for whatever it is that you're going through, or whatever it is that you're dealing with, or the things that you have already dealt with, because all of it has a purpose and a plan. Again, for God said, I have a plan that I have for you, declared the Lord. Plan to prosper you, a plan to give you hope in the future. So all the things that we have went through, experienced, or going through, it's all for a purpose and for a plan. Yes, to help the next person. But at the end of the day, God is still bringing healing and deliverance within ourselves. He can bring healing and deliverance at the same time as we going forward doing what it is he asks us to do. So I want to encourage you to continue to stay focused and trust the plan that God has for you. Continue to hold on to your faith. Like he said, faith